this government will not get out from underneath the shadow of the Iraq war. It is simply unacceptable in anything which regards itself in any way as a democratic country for the Prime Minister to make the most important decision that any Prime Minister can take, to put citizens of this country in harm's way, to send them to kill and be killed thousands of miles away, to do it on a lie, to cost hundreds of thousands of lives in Iraq, and not to be held to account by the people of this country. That is unacceptable, and we will not allow it to stand this Saturday or on May the 5th. But there's still work to do. The work of this peace camp, and the work that you can do still between now and Saturday. Because any great mass movement, be it the Chartists, the suffragettes, the civil rights movement in America, every great mass movement is a mosaic of small acts. The most important things that are decided tonight, the most important things that are said tonight, will not be said here at the front. They will be said amongst you as you go away from your meeting. They will be said by those of you, one who turns to another and says, I must contact my friend, I must contact my family, my workmates, my fellow trade unionists, the people in my mosque or my church, and I must tell them, you must be there on the 19th. You must be there next Saturday. Whatever you think you are doing, however important you think it is more important to march on Saturday.
Una mattina mi sono svegliato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono svegliato e ho trovato un invaso. Oh partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. E se io muoio da partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao. Se io muoio da partigiano, tu mi devi seppellire, mi seppellisci verso montagna. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao. Mi seppellisci verso montagna, sotto l'ombra di un vecchio. Tutte le genti che passeranno, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella.
As I get older, I feel more and more and more that what we should be understanding is what we are. And we should be standing for very positive things. Of course the war's a crime. Of course Fallujah was a war crime on a massive scale. The threat to Iran could destabilize the whole Middle East, and if the Israelis did it, God knows what the consequences would be, and they might very well do it. And therefore we are against all those things, but I think we should also remember that we represent the overwhelming majority of the population of the world, who all want the same thing. They want peace, they want justice, they want some control over their own lives, and they want to see that this generation does not, as it could with the weapons we have, destroy the human race. That's what we're about. And therefore, although this is in London, we know that on Saturday, was it 500 demonstrations in the United States? Or was it 24 countries all over the world? People are doing just what we're doing. We also know something else, that it's such a powerful movement that the establishment wants to ignore it. I don't know what you guess, but my guess is they will try not to give much coverage to what happens on Saturday. The most powerful weapon the media have is to ignore you. And you know what, we'll have, well, I don't know what you think, is it 250,000, 500,000, I don't know how many here, and then they will give the police estimate, 200 people turned up. I'm starting a committee to teach the police how to count, because I don't think the police have ever been through a proper system. And I tell you how I would deal with it. I say to the police, well, there were 100,000 police there. And they said, no, there weren't. I said, well, that's what I understand. You may be underestimating it. And a little bit of mockery does do a bit of good. I was thinking the other day about this anti-terrorism bill, trying to look, as I always do, on the bright side. And I thought to myself, the anti-terrorism bill is the answer to the problem of homelessness. And I tell you why. Because if I were poor in London, living on the streets, with a tin in front, hoping people put a pound or two in, you've got the whole thing wrong. Sit there with a notice behind you saying, I support Al-Qaeda. You'd be given a home at once, you'd be given a house, you might not be able, you'd be house arrest, but the whole thing is a complete fraud. And I think we should never ever underestimate people's intelligence. That's what the media do, that's what the political leaders, they think we're all a lot of nitwits who take whatever they give us. It isn't really true. Earlier this afternoon I had a lovely meeting with 6 primary school kids from the local primary school where my children went 40 years ago. And these were 9-year-olds. And what they said, we're really interested, they said, against the war, we're really interested in Mr. Gandhi, because he was against violence. And also one of the little 9-year-olds said, and also don't forget Martin Luther King. And there they were, and they knew so much more about the world than the editor of The Sun or the Daily Express. And when you meet kids like that, it gives you confidence, because I think the next generation are going to be far, far more aware of what is happening than some of the older people. So we've got to retain confidence, and that's why coming to demonstrations is so useful. You realize you're not alone. There are millions of other people think like you. And after the last one, a couple of years ago, very funny, a man from the BBC came up to me and said, Mr. Ben, you are a voice in the wilderness. So I said, well, there are 2 million people in my wilderness. How many are there in yours? And it's true, because the whole purpose of the media is to make us feel unrepresentative, ineffective, on the fringes, and it's not true. We're a majority movement. And people who do get to look at it on the telly, that's why they won't show too much of it on the telly. When they see it, they say, oh, I agree with that. You know, oh, I'm glad there's somebody doing something about it. And this peace camp is a way of just making a presence in Trafalgar Square. I expect most of you have heard me in Trafalgar Square before, but whenever I come, I always think it's 50 years since I first spoke in Trafalgar Square. And every single cause that I supported was a lost cause. And every single cause that I supported won. And so I look at it like this. I think Trafalgar Square today, Parliament tomorrow. And if only MPs ever came to Trafalgar Square instead of going to the Millbank Tower where they get their orders, they would understand the world, what's coming next.
Red, white, and blue, these colors don't run. Just stalking like a dead man's son. We lie here kicking gravel cause we like the sound of the flags we just unravel, let them dry, touch the ground. Wound itself up and then began again. They rode on through the streets, their dogs unleashed. Nothing sacred, just profane, just profane. But I read the riverbed, just west of everything, and we'll see the light complete and clean. It's just in you. It's just minutes left to fight. And it's thinking what they give it and run on burning.
I think you've got these sort of columnists in newspapers like Tony Parsons and these idiot people, and they started writing about when all this came out about the torture. Well, all right then. I mean, maybe we were duped, and maybe it was a bad thing. And I thought that the war was to liberate the people of Iraq. And a bit of me thought, well, at least these people are owning up, which is fair enough. But another bit of me wanted to get them all in a room together in a classroom with the teacher at the front, going, now why didn't we know this before? We've been through this enough times. What happens when the Americans invade somewhere, you boy? Come on, out with it, Parsons. They fuck everything up and make it worse, sir. That's right, they fuck everything up and make it worse. We've done it enough times, now learn it for next time.
Galloway, the original rebel MP, showed Tony Blair things he don't want to see. So Tony Blair's links to the Telegraph seat. They pick up some papers of some Iraqi before Galloway blinks. He's all at sea, excluded from the Labour Party. Tony Blair laugh, ha ha, hee hee. That'll show the rest of them rebel MP that they really don't want to go fuck with me. I'm the bad man, you don't mess with me. All hail now to King Tony. But what it don't get now, what it don't see, is we the people, yes, that's us, we. The ones see credit with the stupidity. Actually, we ain't blind, actually, we see what it done to the world and to this country. We've seen the bomb dropping, we've seen the people run, we've seen Tony loading Al-Qaeda's gun. Well, Al-Qaeda wanna bring the Armageddon on. We thought to ourselves what the muck's going on. And wait a minute, the weapons of mass destruction. Then you know there was some bullshit yarn we spun. Oh, what a bloody stupid question. Where the fuck the weapons of mass destruction? Says, listen man, tell me now, can't you see? The people fed up with the WMD. They're ready for the next big pile of crap. The word for today is roadmap, roadmap, so all that Palestine can see. Jerry Adams on global TV say the IRA wanna do it peacefully, but that's not good enough for Tony. So we lock off the Irish elections so the world see we're unfit the same way as the Israeli, so all the Palestine can see clearly. We have no intention of setting them free. The roadmap's just like the WMD. It don't exist, it's just for TV. They keep on saying it, so we shall see. The West is trying to set the world free with our roadmap and our WMD. Don't try to get through to me. I take the Daily Express seriously, and it's rants like you that are mucking up this country. Keep that evil Galloway away from me. Kill all of them evil hippies who keep on trying to set us free. Spoiled middle class don't impress me. Dirty working class can piss off with their militancy. I like my life easy, keep my house price rising. I will be a good little citizen, you shall see. All hail now to King Tony, you will get my complicity. Fascism is beginning to appeal to me. Did you see the advert on Sky TV? The Daily Mail explains it brilliantly. Don't try to get through to me. I take the Daily Express seriously. Galloway, the original rebel MP, showed Tony Blair things he don't wanna see. So Tony Blair's links to the Telegraph seat. They pick up some papers of some Iraqi before Galloway blinks. He's all at sea, excluded from the Labour Party. Tony Blair laugh, ha ha, hee hee. That'll show the rest of them rebel MP. Galloway from Galloway himself. Yes, sure.